Martha Bone. I'm Dr. Martha Bone at Maysville Community College, and this course is English 101. This is a writing course. It's the first one you take. Please check and make sure you're doing the right thing and you're on the list. I'm sure you are if you're in Blackboard. This class is designed for the internet, and I'm going to first introduce you to the syllabus, and then we're going to talk about what we're going to do this semester. If you will look at the syllabus on Blackboard, and I think it's important to make a copy of it. In fact, I think you ought to make a copy. I'm going to show you something later, the most important thing, the calendar, which you need to really follow. Okay, so this is English 101. There are 3 credit hours, and you know what date it is. My name is Dr. Martha Bone, like a bone in your leg, so won't forget it. And at the top of the syllabus, my office is there. My phone number is there with the extension, and my office hours. Now, I'm happy to see you. I'm here most days, and you can see what my office hours are. But please, if you are going to drive here to talk to me or to any other faculty member on the campus, please make an appointment. We have meetings, we have sickness, we may be off for some reason, we may go out to lunch, so check on it. Make sure we're going to be here before you waste gas money. One of my big things. Okay, the official course description is right here. It's strictly from the catalog. Make sure that you qualify for this course. You have to have an appropriate writing placement score or completion of earlier English courses, 090, 091, whatever course you're taking. Sometimes that changes. Make sure that I'm going to check your scores. So make sure you're in the right class. I have an idea you are because your advisor has checked it. All right. The first page has the course competencies. We're all adults. You're a college student. You can read these yourselves. And then the class calendar. Now, let us hold on to the class calendar. This is the one that's got owl, owl, owl written all over it. We're going to talk about that more in a minute. The general education information, things that on page 4 of my copy, and then page 5. Let's look at page 5 and the calendar. The text and supplies. The only book you need is this one. It's Stephen King on writing. It's about his life, and it's about writing. It's about lots of other things. It's fascinating. Stephen King is the best there is at what he does. You cannot turn on the television. You can't get the newspaper. You can't go to the movie without some kind of Stephen King stuff on the screen or in the book. Right now he's got a new book coming out. There's a new television series on, and there is a movie with Matthew McConaughey. Now the movie has gotten all kinds of bad press, but it's Stephen King, and he's a fascinating person. Okay, the other thing you have is OWL. OWL is the online writing lab of Purdue University, and it is free. If you're lucky, this course, the books for this course could cost you 50 cents or less, because Stephen King's book is not a new book, and you can get it at used bookstores. You can get it online. You can borrow somebody's. You don't have to go buy the one from the bookstore if you don't want to. or you can buy the one from the bookstore or maybe rent it. I'm not sure. The point is, I'm doing my best to save you that money. Now, Purdue's Online Writing Lab is free of charge. It has all kinds of information. I'm going to show you how to do that. And you are responsible. This is your textbook. So you are responsible for reading it. Okay? Now, the evaluation and grading is done by a simple average. I'll grade the papers, the library exercise. The librarians will grade. We'll have points for this and that. It's on the calendar, most of it. And then at the end of the semester, I will go on Blackboard, and it will tell me how many points you have. And it will tell me how many points were possible. And I will divide. Simple as that. It's a typical percentage. The scale is 90 to 100, 80 to 89, and so forth. Now, by the way, I want this lecture, if that's what it is, to be casual. It's not edited, so if I mess up, I just say I messed up and I go back and try to fix it. So I'm going to take a drink of Diet Coke, which is my drug of choice, and maybe we'll get to know each other. In English 101, I get to know you if I never see you, because I get to know you through what you write and your emails and other things. And I hope you'll get to know me. I prefer teaching on campus, but students nowadays, it's a video world. So I think I got off the subject there, but I just thought about it, so I wanted to say it. Now, I want to say about the grades. I don't know you. You don't know me. I mean, I may know some of you, seen you somewhere. You might know some of my relatives. I don't know. But we are not personal acquaintances. The grades are there right now. When I put these numbers down, I didn't know you. And that's the number. So at the end of the semester, if you call me, I'm not texting with students. If you call me or email me, and you say, I just need one more point, just 1 point. Sorry, a miss is as good as a mile. The line has been drawn in the sand, and I don't change the grades. If I did, if I said, oh, you seem to be a nice guy, I'll give you a point, then I've got to give everybody else a point. And then there's somebody else who says, now I just need 1 more point. And there's no end to it. So these are the grades. Your average is your average, and the grade is what you earned. Okay, to pass English 101, you have to have an average of 60 or more, and you have to complete all 3 major essays. You can't get an A on the first 2 and say, well, I don't think I'll do number 3. It won't work. That is an E if you don't complete all 3 papers. Now, the statute, this is on page 5 at the bottom. The state of Kentucky has a statute of limitations. I don't really know quite what it is because I don't intend to commit a crime. And it is a simple statement that after a certain amount of time, you cannot be prosecuted for a crime or a civil offense. I think it's 7 years for theft. By the way, murder has no statute of limitations. So what I'm doing is giving you a 10-day statute of limitations. If you get your grade, you look at it, you think I've made a mistake, email me or call me. Email is better, and I will check it. If I've made a mistake, I'll raise your grade. This cannot hurt you. I won't lower your grade, even if I find out that, yeah, I made a mistake on that, But look at this other thing. I don't do that. Once the grade is given to you, it can go up, it can't go down. Okay? After 10 days, that's the grade. It's frozen. Okay? Because this is experience speaking. I know what students do at the end of the semester. They go back and say, oh, if I can just get her to regrade this or regrade that, it's a never-ending process. So when the grade is up, you have 10 days. Now, I don't mind being told that I made a mistake. I made a mistake once in 1978 on a Monday. That's a joke. Anyway, I don't mind saying I made a mistake, and I would be happy to raise your grade when I know, okay? But once the time has passed, we can't go back over things over and over, and nobody remembers. By the way, keep all your papers and notes and emails in all your classes. Anyway, you have to point out the mistake. You can't come up at the end of the semester. Now, the rest of this material is about rewrites. I'll tell you this again. If you get an E on any paper of the 3 main papers, you can rewrite it for a higher grade. I accept late papers, those 3 papers, for a week. I'll grade down if it's late. And by the way, everything's on the computer. So I can say, look, he didn't turn it in. She was 3 days late. Here's the deal. It's all on the computer. It's date and time stamped. Now, we check our papers through Blackboard, and they're going to be direction sheets that come with the first paper assignment that you'll see. You turn your paper in on Blackboard. You do it as a file, and it goes through a plagiarism check. I'll think of what they call it in a minute. It doesn't matter. I know how to set it up. When you turn in your paper, Blackboard will check it through a plagiarism check to make sure you haven't copied it from somewhere. Okay. Only papers that have been checked through Blackboard and have a works cited page and parenthetical references will be accepted. We're going to talk about all of those things, so don't panic over them. But remember, this document, this syllabus, is a legal document. So I want to put everything in that I can. If you plagiarize, and I catch you, and I almost always do, anyway, you don't want to hear my stories, I will give you a 0 for your paper. If you're working with somebody in the class and you think, well, we'll both turn in the same paper, that's happened to me. They both flunked. Okay? Don't even think about it. Send me your own stuff. Because the big purpose of going to college is not just to get 3 credit hours. The purpose is to learn something. You don't learn anything if you copy. Okay? You can look up the student code, and I give you the address there on page 6. There is no cheating allowed. Now, above that little box there, I may go through this again and rework it a little bit. Maybe my mind was working logically the day I did this, or maybe it was working logically, but I don't think I'm following exactly. I teach standard English. I teach standard English because it's the language of the college. It's the language of any college. It's the English language. It's standard English. It's the language of the workplace. Now, that's the language you have to learn if you want to be successful and not have people make fun of you on whatever social media you use, okay? You have to learn to use the English language well in order to be successful. Standard English includes accepted punctuation, such as capitalizing the I, really, And yes, I love the Oxford comma. So don't send me text message. Okay, don't tell me you're LOL. I don't even know what it means. Actually, I do, but I don't care. So use English, standard English, and I will correct your grammar. If you send me an email in text message with you, the letter U for YOU, and not capitalizing your I just won't answer it. Okay? It's time we learned. Okay. This is college. It's grown up. All right. Now, on your calendar, it will tell you when you can drop. It's October the 9th, I think, this semester. Although I may be using this tape over next semester. But at any rate, look up the drop date. You can drop at midterm by your own decision, at your own discretion. You don't have to ask me. Somebody has to tell me that they'll send it to me. You have to legally drop, all right? Go through the school. Go through your advisor. Once you have passed that date, which is on your calendar, once you have passed that date, I have to sign the paper. And as it says at KCTCS, after that, the instructor's policy falls into place. My policy is I don't let students drop after midterm. All right? I'm not going to, you decide, well, I've got a B and I wanted an A, I'll just drop the course. Or I've got a C and I wanted a B, I'll just drop the course. No, not going to happen. You'll have an E. If you haven't done all 3 papers, you haven't done the course, you've got an E. Okay? It is exceptional for me to let someone drop. If you think your circumstances are exceptional, give me a call. Send me an email. I'll do my thinking about it and make a decision. Only in exceptional circumstances do I let a student withdraw with a W after midterm. I'll let you withdraw, or you can just drop out, but it'll be an E grade, and that affects your GPA. GPA is grade point average, okay? Now, also after the end of the semester, you can't withdraw, period. Now, there are other documents about people with special needs, safety precautions. They're all there added to your syllabus, or if they aren't, they will be Monday. I'm going to have to check that. Now, that's the hard part, and in a way, the boring part. I hope it's the last boring part. We'll see. Now let's talk about what we're going to do this semester. And that's when the calendar comes into play. Now, as you probably can see from this, I have already laminated my calendar. And I'm going to put it up here on the bulletin board right by my desk, and I look at it every day that I'm at this college. Okay? Every day. So I follow it exactly. Hold me to it. Hold me to it, and I hold you to it. Okay. So week 1, we're going to have this introductory YouTube video, and at the end of the week, Thursday and Friday, I believe, we are going to have a quiz over it to make sure you've looked at this video. Now, I hate testing, but online, excuse me, I had a terrible lunch today. Well, anyway, online, we have to test everything because students won't do it. And then there you are in the middle of the semester or 2 weeks in, and you've blown the whole thing, can't catch up. So I test everything. I don't like doing it, but I have to. The quiz will open at 6:30 on the first day given and close the same day. If it says 2 days, then it will be open 2 days. But it opens at 6:30 in the morning and it closes at 11:59, the end of the day. Now, the first thing you do the first week, you watch this. You can do the biography assignment, and thrillingly enough, I've already gotten one. I opened this class on the internet this morning, and I had a student within an hour send me her bio. Good on that. It's 25 points. And the directions are on the website. You can do it. Now's a good time. If you don't know how to do Blackboard and these computer things, you got to learn, because you're taking this online, and Blackboard is what we use. So get some help now if you need it. The library, or Academic Commons, is the place on the Maysville campus. I don't know if you're somewhere else. You have to find out on your campus where's the place to get help. Okay, so you're going to do that. You're going to read the good manners on the internet, which is already up on your website, I think. I'll check again. It's already up on your website. And then you're going to look up the MLA on OWL. Now you see this OWL, 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 OWL. That is because this is your textbook. If you don't read your textbook, if you don't check your textbook, you're going to flunk the course. I've been doing this probably 200 years, and one of the things I've learned over the past 10 or 12 years since we've been doing 101 on the internet, maybe longer than that, one of the things I've learned is if the students buy a textbook, some of them won't use it. If I do it online and have the textbook online, some people won't do it. It doesn't seem to make much difference which one I do. And the reason I do this is because it doesn't cost you anything. All right, and college is already expensive enough. Now, you must get on OWL this week, the first week of class, and find materials on OWL to help you write a paper. When you open your search engine, I use Google Chrome. Y'all know what I'm talking about. When you get in your search engine, all you've got to do is type in OWL, capital letters, OWL, and a page will come up. It has a great picture of an owl, and there's a beautiful white owl. There's several pictures of owls on mine. But the very first thing, the very first entry, will be the Online Writing Lab at Purdue University. Now, I like OWL because it's cheap, free is good, but also because it's up to date. It's updated all the time. We had a new MLA, Modern Language Association book last year, and OWL was the first to get it up and running, and the changes were already made before school started a year ago. So you can't beat that, because we used a book that said it was up to date and it wasn't. Then we used the MLA book, and it was a mess. It was up to date because they were the boss, but it was almost unreadable. OWL is up to date, it's current, and it is easily used. It's reader friendly. Now, click on OWL. You typed in OWL in your search engine, you press enter, or click on it or whatever, and a page will come up. On the left hand, that may be your right hand, but whatever, the left hand side of the page, there will be an index, a list of things that are in OWL, just like an index in a book. And you will go down, and where it says MLA, Modern Language Association, click on that. And then another list will come up. And it'll be things like how to do parenthetical references, works cited page, other things. I'm going to talk about more of them again. And you look there and find how to do a paper. Now, you don't want to learn everything. I mean, you don't want to do it all right away. But you want to get started. And by the second week in class, you're going to be doing the PowerPoint presentation on the OWL. Now, I don't test over this because the test is how well do you do your paper? Is your works cited page perfect? Does it have a hanging indent, which I'm going to also show you? By the way, an awful lot of this stuff is on YouTube, and you can watch a video of how to do a hanging indent for the MLA. It's up there, and I will attach many of those things, link them to your website, okay? So you're going to look these things up. The reason I don't test them is because they are to help you write the paper correctly, and you never have to memorize it. You never have to memorize it. You just know how to find it, where it is. Because if you don't look them up for every paper you do, check and make sure your works cited looks like that one on OWL. Make sure that your paper, your heading is the same. Make sure your parenthetical references are just as OWL does them. Then you're not going to get a good grade on the paper. Okay? Now, there is an APA, there's a Chicago standards of how to do papers. Here's the thing. If you can learn to do MLA, not memorize it, but look where to find it. Know how to find it. And check your papers. Then you can do it with APA. You can do it with the Chicago. You can do it with the New York Times. Many of the larger newspapers and websites, such as Huffington Post, whatever websites you like. I read The Guardian in England every day on the web. They have their own standards of writing, an actual style book, they call it. There's a New York Times style book. There's a Guardian style book. There's a Washington Post style book. Once you learn how to look things up on the OWL, you can look up anything. So you don't have to memorize it. And therefore, I don't want to test you over it because I don't want you to think you have to memorize this stuff. I don't have it memorized. And I've been doing it forever. Okay? So no quizzes over OWL, but every paper will tell me whether you are reading your textbook, looking things up. And I'm going to be sending you emails. There'll be other lectures that will say, here's what you ought to be doing. Okay? Look this up. Check this out. And the second week, and you can start right now if you want to and watch it. The second week is the OWL presentation, PowerPoint presentation. Okay? So you need to spend some time on that. The second week we will do the PowerPoint presentation and the library tutorial. And we're getting ready to write paper 1. Okay? I already see a mistake. Goodness me. Week 2 is not a mistake, though, on this. So, by the way, if you catch a mistake of mine and you politely tell me about it, I'll give you some credit. All right? Don't tell me I did 1-1 instead of 101. I got that on the first. I tried to fix that and didn't. Okay, so that's what we're going to do starting this week whenever you have time, doing the library tutorial, because you're going to do a library test on the website, and I'll let you know. I'll send you an email when that comes up in week 3. You'll also have your works cited page in week 3, and I have for paper 2. I meant paper 1. It's Lecture 2, Paper 1, so you can correct that. The works cited page is due for Paper 1. And I will remind you of that, okay? By the way, I noticed that I didn't put the 25 points for the biography assignment, but I have already put that up for the person who sent it in so far. You want that 25 points. They're freebies because the biography assignment is just your personal information. Okay, what am I? Okay. The first week, you read the good manners on the internet, which I do follow. You start looking on MLA. The second week, I'm going to assign the first paper because, and I'll tell you when you'll know when I do it, you need to check Blackboard often. And I send things by email that comes up on your KCTCS email. Please get your KCTCS email. Okay, there's a terrible word list, words you cannot use. And I did that, and I'm sending it out. It will be up. And then we will keep talking about works cited page. You will be checking it on OWL. Your page has to look like the sample on OWL. Okay? And then the library test in week 3 and week 4, paper 1 is due. And it goes on. Now, every paper is in here when I assign it and when it's due. Okay? And the due dates are in bold. That's when they're due. You don't turn them in when I tell you you're late. Okay. Besides the Stephen King book, we're going to be reading essays from the internet that are free. So, the first one is High Tide in Tucson by Barbara Kingsolver, a good Kentucky woman. And start reading Stephen King. That's week 5. So the first 4 weeks are really about paper 1, getting into your textbook, which is OWL, and getting into the course. Then we're going to do Amy Tan, also on the internet. By the way, the King, pages V through 107, that's the Stephen King book on writing. Then we're going to do My Ghost by Amy Tan, which is an essay online. You Can't Talk to Your Professor Like That by Molly Worthen, which is, I give you the web address there. There may be quizzes. I'm going to see how things are going. So these are all online. And then paper 2 will be assigned. We'll do more on King, and then looking up the Oxford comma. I'll send you the address to that later. I couldn't remember it off the top of my head when I wrote it down here. Love the Oxford comma, and it cost a company $10 million not to use it. So it's important. Okay. Then we're going to do the second paper. We're going to talk about Mark Tomford about etiquette and the transformation of the American dream. And then we're going to have fall break. And I want to talk to you about fall break and weekends. Because I know everything's online. And you can sit up in the middle of the night and text me. That's why I don't tweet. And I want to tell you that I am a follower of the old Greek idea of a balanced life, which is we should all have work, we should all have play, we should all have rest. And unlike some of my children, I don't carry my cell phone around, and if no matter what I'm doing, answer it. Okay? So on the weekends, I don't even check my email from the college. And I don't answer emails from the college. Okay? It's the weekend. Now, unfortunately, I do grade papers a lot on the weekends, but please don't be writing me and thinking if I don't respond to you immediately, the world's coming to an end. No worlds, unless we get blown up, are going to be coming to an end as far as I know this semester. Certainly not any world that I have anything to say anything about. Okay? So remember, I'm going to be off on fall break. I'm planning a trip. I'm going. Okay? And I'm going to be off on the weekends with my children and my granddaughter and my grandsons and my friends and doing whatever good things I do. I want you to do the same. Have a balanced life. Work, study, play, rest. Enjoy your life. Okay, I'm getting to preaching. That's a problem of mine. So you can text me. Not text. You can email me and say you got to preaching, and I will understand. I'll try not to do it. Then we're going to do the works cited page for paper 2. Paper 2, we're going to do after the break. And we're going to read some NPR essays. That's National Public Radio. I'll show you how to do that. Always go to the funeral and be good to the pizza dude. 2 contrasting essays. Then we're going to read an Edgar Allan Poe story. Poe is, he's the Stephen King. Stephen King couldn't have existed without Edgar Allan Poe. Okay? He is the father of the detective novel, the father of the horror story, and we're going to read The Fall of the House of Usher. And then have lecture 4 over it, which I love, and we're going to talk about the Gothic story. The Edgar Allan Poe story, The Fall of the House of Usher, is on the internet. It is free. I read it just this week on the internet. Didn't pay a penny. You don't have to buy a copy. Then there's going to be a quiz over those things, and there's a lot of reading there between weeks 10, 11, and 12. And there'll be an a quiz. Then we're going to do paper 3, read the rest of Stephen King. And the week that paper 3 is due, we're going to watch a film called The Bridge of Spies with Tom Hanks. The Bridge of Spies was just, I think it's 2017. It may be the end of 2016 it came out. It's a wonderful, wonderful movie based on fact. And I think it's fabulous. Literature can be filmed. And this is literature on film. Okay? There will be no quiz, but all of these things are going to be on the final exam, which will be week 16. The opening and closing date of the exam are right there. Okay? Now, I hope that I haven't missed anything. If there's anything you want to know, send me your biography and ask me any questions you want. If you don't send in your biography by the date on this, well, I don't think I put it on here. Let's see. All right, it's August the 23rd this semester. And if I use this again, it'll be on the calendar of assignments. It is on, by the way, attached to your syllabus, if it isn't already, will be the calendar of the college. And so it's on there. It looks like this. It's also on our website. On the 23rd, I have to turn in a thing called no-shows, a list of no-shows, people who have done nothing for the course. If you do your biography, you know you're okay for no-shows. You don't want to be turned in on a no-show list, even if you think you can catch up 2 weeks late. Okay? A, I don't think you can in this course, but B, being turned in as a no-show can affect your financial aid. So you don't want to do that. Okay. Well, I hope this is an awful lot at the first of the semester to grasp, but just hang in there. I'm here. Send me an email by my KCTCS email. We're going to do it this semester. Okay? Welcome to English 101. Thank you.